Why will anyone care what you have to say? What if no one watches? What do we even talk about? Oh my gosh, what if they leave rude comments? Okay. I'm sure if you've given any thought whatsoever to starting a YouTube channel, all of those things have gone through your head. They've gone through mine. But I want to encourage you to throw caution to the wind and give in to that little inkling you've been having of maybe I should start a YouTube channel, because I think it could really be a brilliant idea for what you have to share with other people. But hey, insider secret, it could be even more brilliant for what it could do for you. So let's talk about it. So, how do you use YouTube personally? Maybe you're someone who just watches hours and hours of cat videos a week. And hey, if that's your thing, knock yourself out. But I use YouTube a lot of different ways. The main one that comes to mind, honestly, is I'm single and I often have things that I want to fix around my house and save money by me doing it, but I would have no idea how to do it until I go to YouTube. And a lot of times I can watch 15 or 20 videos of how to do the specific thing I want to learn how to do. And hey, a lot of times I've been okay and I've done fine with fixing that after watching these videos. And I'm really thankful that people who have ideas of how to do things that I have no clue how to do are generous and share what they know on YouTube. And I was the one that got to be able to benefit from it. So I want you to think about, are there people out there that could benefit from what you know, even if it's like this really narrow topic or what some people might think are weird or something like that? I'm thinking the answer is yes. And if you have the courage to put it on YouTube, there are going to be people who benefit from it. So that's a big reason why starting a YouTube channel is a brilliant idea, because people can take away your knowledge and gain from your experience and learn from it and make something really positive happen just because of what you shared. I have a story that I think hopefully is kind of like that. This channel here, I started about 5 years ago when I was told that I had to go through a really tough neck surgery with my vertebrae being cut and fused and all those sorts of things. So, of course, when I got that news, I thought, well, I'm going to see what people on YouTube have to say that have gone through it. And so went immediately, searched all the search terms and found that hardly anyone who's had that surgery decided they want to make YouTube videos. Well, that was a big bummer. But honestly, I thought, well, I guess it's up to me. So I went ahead and made some pretty not great looking videos of talking about my experience and the things I learned and the products that I found that helped, and just made these long notes of things to really try to be as helpful as possible to people. And they have been watched tens and thousands of times by people from all over the world, and I get comments and questions, and it's really just been a really rewarding experience to have that. And let me tell you, that's a pretty narrow audience of people, but they were all facing the same thing as me, and they were probably all as scared as me. And even by the process of me going through and making those videos and talking about it, helped me to get more centered on what I wanted to share with it. And it was really beneficial for me. And really, I'm grateful that so many people have said that all the information was super helpful as well. So have at it. So I'm expanding what I'm talking about on this channel now because I think I have more things that I can share that perhaps you can resonate with. And I think what I'm learning from YouTube is that there's always going to be an audience for everything. Even, again, if it's super narrow or what people might think is kind of weird or out there or something like that, there's people in the world who are going to resonate with that and want to follow what you have to say with that. So I would just think through the topics that you think you can talk about. And it's not as much as of you have to niche down, you have to pick a certain really kind of narrow subject area to stick with. If you're starting a channel, try some different things. That's what I'm doing. I have a fair amount of ideas of things that I want to try here, and I don't have any idea what the reception is going to be for some of them, but I'm going to try. I'm going to see what seems to land, and the things that seem to land, I'll talk about more. And it's not a scientific process, but I do think that with time and consistency, and just me talking about what my interests are or my specific views on one thing might be, or heck, I'm a piano player, I might record Me playing some of that sometime too, just to see how that might land too. It's a great experiment to be able to see what you can talk about, but it also allows you to really just kind of be wider in what you talk about, that you're not so narrowly defined as just the person who had neck surgery. That, you can talk about the things that interest you and find the people that are going to want to find that and listen to you on your channel. So just keep experimenting, keep trying new things, and let your audience find you, because I think with consistency and time, they will. So, and here's a special insider tip just for my folks in their 50s and 60s. Hey, I'm 55. I'm right there with you. I hear from a lot of people in this age group that they feel like as time goes on, they start to feel more and more invisible. Many are becoming empty nesters, they're coming to the end of their careers, perhaps even stuff with their careers are really changing just with technology or anything along that line, and they don't feel like they have a lot of friends. So, here is an outlet to pursue, to talk about what interests you. Even if you don't have somebody in the room to talk about it with you, you can create those videos and put it out there. So I will just say again, people in your 50s and 60s, the world needs the wisdom that you have to share. Heck, even if you're older, 70s and 80s, have at it. The world needs what you have to share, and you have the opportunity to do it because it's really not that complicated. Hey, I'm sitting here with my iPhone and a little tripod, and I'm realizing that I have a little wireless microphone to use that I didn't even remember to put on, and I'm not using anything complicated whatsoever. So just think about what you can share, what you think you can have that has an impact, and just get started. Now, of course, there's also the idea that you can monetize your YouTube channel, and I'm hoping to do that. My channel isn't there yet, but if you subscribe, hint, hint, and I keep developing the watch time for these videos, I hope to get there within the next couple months or so. So it's a great income stream to have with consistent posting, and hopefully it's something that you enjoy doing too, and can end up being, some level of income, especially if you're a little older, that comes in as a side hustle income with your retirement years, just to add to what you have coming in. But honestly, the impact is more important to me, and the feeling that I've given hope and courage to people that were in a scary situation just like I was is really rewarding. And honestly, there are some people who may not have anybody else to learn from than you. So that's just one part of the brilliant equation of why a YouTube channel could be a big benefit from you, but there's even more. Having a YouTube channel can be a brilliant idea, even if it's just for you. You can treat your channel as kind of a personal journal or a diary that, years from now, you can look back and see what you were doing at the time, where you were living. You can, if you want, you can put your husband, kids, spouse, friends, whoever in the videos and have records of them with it too. There is the option that you can have unlisted videos on your channel, so that if you don't want other people to see them, you can make that an option. But even if it's something that how you're sharing to be able to help other people and impact them with what you're talking about, it's still got all these things that are going to be records of what your life was. I'm a writer by trade, but I have never been one that's been interested in keeping a journal for some reason. I have many friends that sit and journal wonderful things in the morning, all their thoughts and prayers, and they have records of all these things. But you can also consider what you're doing on a channel for something that you would think about, something you might want to look at 10 years from now and see what your life was like, and honestly see how you've grown from the time of pressing on and producing more things. So it's a great time marker just in and of itself. Lots of people talk about their life story and wanting to write a book about it, which is great. But I can tell you from personal experience that writing a memoir, I've ghostwritten one and I've edited several of them. It's a ton of work. It's time. It's writing all this stuff. It's revising. And if you want that project and that's something that really lights you up to be able to do, perfect. But there's also a negative end of it, of writing it, designing it, having your cover done, putting it on Amazon, and it is hard for people to find certain topics like that. And thinking that there's going to be a ton of people that buy it without a very concerted marketing effort, it just doesn't happen. But having an audience be able to find what you put on YouTube and resonate and connect is a lot simpler, just because YouTube is one of the largest search engines in the world. I mean, I know Amazon is too, but just by virtue of being able to find what you put out on video as opposed to a book might be an avenue that you want to consider. So If you do a channel, you can even do it without the goal of reaching the masses. You can have it just to be a personal journal for your family to have. It lives on. YouTube isn't going to go anywhere, even though some of the other platforms like Instagram or even TikTok, which, in the United States, it's always talked about as to whether TikTok is going to keep going. YouTube is going to stick around. So what you create and what you put there, unless you take the action of deleting it, is going to keep living on, even beyond you. So what you produce is really going to be a record for even your loved ones to see in the future. I hate to get all ethereal like that, but it is a positive of it. I know people who've started YouTube channels that really got into just the creative outlet that it was for them thinking through what they wanted to talk about and how they wanted to shoot, if they were doing vlogs and stuff, to have the creativity of just how they were going to, set up shots and so forth, or even with the editing too. It doesn't have to be complicated. Just having that editing process is, again, something that some people really get into as, wow, I had no idea I could make things look like that or do that. And it just turns into a creative outlet that is kind of a hobby along with it too. So there's just so many personal things that YouTube can be a positive for. And if you start a channel, try different topics. Again, we might hear about how people think that you really have to stick with a niche so people know exactly what they're getting when they come to a channel. But you can try ideas and see if they work, see if they resonate, see if they don't, see if you like talking about them, seeing if there's something that is, kind of easy to come from you, or it's just something that doesn't roll as easily. You are not stuck in a very narrow lane. With your YouTube channel, you have much freedom to be able to experiment. Say, hey, take advantage of it. And then there's always the aspect of personal growth. Everybody who starts a YouTube channel starts at the same number, 0. So your consistency in producing, thinking through what you want to put out there, and then actually recording, editing, all the things, but then doing it one week, then doing it the next week. I'm shooting for 1 time a week. I might go to 2 at some point, but that repeated essence of learning and doing it, and then assessing, I could do that better, and then doing it better, and then repeating that process, and hopefully having a little bit of an audience grow at the same time, is a huge confidence builder. So just the process, without even whatever would come from whatever happens being posted online, is going to be a benefit from you, just so you can push through, get consistent with it, and then see what comes from that. Now, of course, fear is always part of it. We'd be stupid to kind of ignore that fact. There's fear of, oh, what will people think when they see what I look like? Or what if my friends find my channel and I didn't want them to? Or what if some idiot leaves rude comments? And honestly, as someone who's 55 and really wanting to pay more attention and create more on YouTube, I'm just kind of like, who cares? Even if maybe you're not to that stage of life, you're creating things for the positives that we've talked about, more so than the fear of what you're going to get from somebody else on it. So, hey, you can delete comments if you want, and who cares if somebody makes some comment, even if they would see you personally and say about it. You're doing something that's bringing a whole lot of positives to your life, and likely bringing a whole lot of positives to other people too. So just really let that overcome the fear that might be making you want to compare yourselves to others, and have that joy of what you're doing and the growth of what you're getting from it. Stop. Don't give into it. Just keep moving on. The only thing you have from starting a channel and working on consistently growing it is gain. Sure, it takes some time. Everything takes time. Sure, it takes some effort. Anything that's worth it takes some effort. But the opportunity to help other people, the confidence and the growth that you're going to get from it, and who even knows what connections you might be able to make with people that you learn and meet as a result of putting things online. All these things you won't know anything about until you get started. So I just want to encourage you again that starting a YouTube channel can really be a brilliant idea and can bring so much benefit for you. So if you've been thinking about it, hey, this is your sign. Start that channel, start recording, and let's go.